Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday's live stream. As always, if you're watching this back, this is going to be a live stream with a live chat. The live chat replay will be available down below for you to check out. So you can follow along with the chat while you're watching the video if you wish. And also, we're going to spend the first few minutes saying hi to everybody joining, so feel free to skip ahead to where we actually get started. I'm a little bit late today. And I also switched things around. I'm using my main phone, the one that actually runs, to stream, because I had my recording phone plugged into the charger this morning without realizing that the charger itself wasn't plugged in, so just gonna have to do it a little bit different today. Just trying to get my charger over to the other side of the desk, don't mind me. Robin, thanks for joining, sweetheart. I hope you're doing good today. I'm just gonna hop off chat for a second here. I got to... Oh, why do I have this one on airplane mode? I've got to message my mom on Messenger because I have my phone on airplane mode and let her know that she's gotta message me here. Sorry, I can't chat for a minute. A little bit of a crazy morning here. That is my password. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, 2 minutes. I should have done this before, but I forgot. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off today. And I've been drinking coffee, so that probably doesn't help. I should not drink coffee. It was a bad idea, but it's so good. Okay, here we go. Just gonna message my mama. Okay, coming back to chat. Sorry about that, guys. Hi, Kenny. You made it. My mom is coming into town sometime today, so I'm gonna steal a ride from her to the post office, so I need to know when she's coming into town. So, since I have to use my working phone to stream today, and it's on airplane mode, the only way that she can get a hold of me is through Messenger, so I had to let her know. Hi, Melissa. Also, I just wanted to show this. I just finished this painting. This is not an original piece. I haven't been able to find the original artist yet, if there even is one. This might just be a one of those digital prints that are just found everywhere, who knows. But I finished painting this. This took me at least 10 hours. I spent like 5 hours on this alone yesterday. And I'm just super, super happy with this. My sister actually commissioned me to paint this. She's going to give it to our mom for Christmas because she loves unicorns. And we'll see if we can get it to show, but I put some holographic glitter on the unicorn's horn. Don't think it'll show up, unfortunately, but in person it is just gorgeous. I absolutely cannot wait for my mom to get that. Hi Melissa, if I didn't say hi already. Hi Charlotte, hi Jody. Thanks everybody. If I'm a little all over the place, it's because I've been drinking coffee this morning, and coffee and me is a bad combination. Hi Nick and Tina. I was going to say in Sammy's chat, I'm sorry I missed your stream the other night. I promised my little man that I would game out with him, so I didn't really have time to watch any streams. Thank you. Okay, so again we're going to be continuing with our Pop Manga Mermaids by Camilla D'Ericco. And if you were here last time, you remember we started, oh, it must be on the other side, yeah, this page here. So we're just going to be continuing on with that. I'm hoping to get most of it, if not all of it, done today. That way next stream time we can start in with the Christmas stuff. So again, I'm just going to take a bigger book to kind of clip this page to. Since it's in the back, it kind of wants to close over on me. There we go. How is everybody doing today? Just going to take 1 minute to go and grab myself a cup of water, and I'll be right back. Definitely need some water on hand. Coffee makes me feel super dehydrated. Oh my goodness, congratulations, Jody. That's awesome. And congrats on your almost 300, Robin. That's great. Oh, camera's gonna shake. Miss Lilo just jumped on the shelf. Okay, so I was kind of looking at this the other day, and I know I originally said that her hair was going to be blonde. I'm actually thinking about making it brown instead, just because the fish turned out a little bit more yellow toned than I was thinking. So I'm thinking brown will make the fish pop out even more and kind of keep the fish and her hair separated. Plus, I was playing around with the idea of using either pastels or paint with stencils for the background, and I want to do kind of a bluish aquamarine color for the background and for her eyes. So I think brown hair would just go better with all of that. I'll just grab my swatch sheet, and I can't remember who asked me last time to put my swatch sheet in with my combinations album on Facebook. I haven't done that yet, but I still plan to. I've had a lot of stuff on my mind and list to get done, so I apologize if I'm a little bit slow in that regards. Okay, breathe. Miss Lilo, you gotta stop moving around, girl. Hey, you, lay down. So I want something dark. So for the shadows and little bits of hair to make it really stand out. I'm going to grab the bark. And again, we're using Derwent Inktense. So here's all the colors. So we've got bark, and I'm thinking maybe a little bit of chocolate as well, the dark chocolate. Maybe oak. I'm actually debating giving her a little bit of a red tinge to her hair. I'm not 100% sure though. I think it would go well with all the other colors I have in my head, so let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be more of like an orangish red, so I'm thinking the Baked Earth. Just zoom in a little bit here. Oh, too much. Zoom's a lot easier on this phone, that's for sure. Again, if you guys need to, you should be able to go into your settings and change your quality to 720 pixels, and that should help your image if it's a little bit pixelated or fuzzy or anything. Jody. No, it definitely doesn't. Okay, as always, I'm going to start with my shadows. So I do want a sharper point to these pencils a little bit. And I actually really like doing Inktense for hair. This page that I colored in Jasmine Beckett Griffith's Mermaids book here, I actually cheated and used Inktense for her hair because I find using Prismas for black hair is terrible. I suck at it, and I found that you actually get a lot more realistic looking hairlines using the Inktense pencils, so if I can cheat with Inktense for hair, definitely will. So do I, especially in the sunlight. I have a little bit of that strawberry tone. So going in with the bark, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm just going to pop the shadows in. So pretty much everywhere this fish is sitting on her head, there's going to be a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to go fairly dark at the very edges, and then I'm going to lighten up the pressure as I go down a little bit here. Let me just close my door so we don't get all that background noise. Hi Alicia! Thanks for joining, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well today. I was actually on the fence about streaming. My back is giving me a little bit of grief today, but just gonna push through it. Thus the coffee. I didn't really want to get out of bed this morning, so hubby made a pot of coffee and he got some Irish creamer, so I could not resist. It's like, yep, it is a day for coffee today. Honestly, aside from like drinking ice caps from our Tim Hortons, which I don't drink much of anymore, especially since it's winter now, the last cup of coffee I've probably drank was like 2 years ago, maybe 3. I'm pretty good, Alicia. Thanks for asking. Oh. So do Rain's niece and nephew. They have quite a bit of strawberry in their hair as well. They're super cute kids. So I'm just going to bring my pencil down and just kind of do some random flicks here and there. Ooh, yummy, Alicia. I was gonna make myself some tea, but I needed something a little bit stronger for today. Thanks, Jody. Oh, awesome, Nick and Tina. I should be able to make it tonight. I don't think I have any plans. I'll probably, as always, be making supper while you guys are streaming, but it's nice to have the company while I cook. It's just these little flicking motions, still using the bark, and I'm going to shadow a little bit underneath here. And this thing was moving again. Do you need out? Do I need to open the door for you? Yep. Okay. Come on. Oh, hi, Andrew. Green crouton. Okay, I'm going to write that down, and I'm definitely going to look into it. I am all about natural pain relievers. I hate taking Advil unless I absolutely have to. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining, sweetheart. Oh, Andrew. My goodness, you are just a wonderful person. I lost that green crouton. Natural. Okay, definitely going to look into that. Thank you so much for both the advice and the donation to the channel. I really appreciate that. Even though you know that you really don't have to. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope your back's doing better now. Maybe let's do a little bit of shadowing underneath this little fin too, just slightly, not too much, because I don't think the light would be too hidden by this fin, but just enough to kind of create a bit of a shadow there. Oh my goodness, Robin. I couldn't even imagine. I have never had any type of surgery, and I feel like that kind of hinders me a little bit because I'm like terrified of them because I don't know what to expect. But I'm also pretty lucky that I haven't. I could not even imagine. She's got these little wisps of hair coming in over top of her face here as well. But I'm not going to touch those yet because I want to color in her face first. And then I'm thinking, I don't really have any colored Posca pens yet. They are on my list to grab. But we could use maybe a brown fine liner, and that might work. So after we get her face colored in, we'll try that. So again, just still coming in with the bark. I'm just putting some random little strands or lines of hair coming down. I don't want to put too much. I don't want her hair to be too dark. And I think I'm just going to focus on this part of her hair for now because I'm not really sure what to tackle or how to tackle this here. And I also couldn't figure out what this was last time. I'm thinking this is maybe a braid or something. So yeah, it would be scary. Okay, so next I'm going to come in with the dark chocolate. I'm going to bring this down a little bit from our shadows. So just going to fade it down, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of this in the strands as well, but not too much, because again, I don't want the strands to get too dark. Oh, did you do like bull riding or bronc riding or something? It's definitely really easy to get hurt doing anything in the rodeo pretty much. My grandpa and his friends were very big into the rodeo when they were younger too, and there's quite a few of them that suffered injuries from it. Didn't stop them from still going though. They were a little bit too stubborn, and I remember their wives always freaking out. As a kid though, I was always fascinated with it. Okay, our next color is the oak. Let me just look and see how this color looks. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take the oak and I'm lightly going to place this over everything. Just super lightly, and then we're going to go over with the, what color did I pick? I've got baked earth here. I don't think it's going to be red enough, so I'm going to actually switch that in for, let's say madder brown, I think. So I'm hoping that the madder brown and then this oak color will kind of work together to kind of tone down the madder brown and make it more of a brownish color. So it's not super vibrant red, but still enough that there's a little bit of a red tint to her hair. Markers that you blow through. That I've never heard of them, I don't think, but that sounds really interesting. Then again, I'm not much of a marker person, except for using them as like a base and going over with colored pencil. I don't know why, but markers scare me because you can't just go in and erase them like you, for the most part, can with pencil. Hi, Candy. Thanks for joining, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well today. I'm gonna go a little bit darker with the oak coming out of her. Yeah, with the oak coming out of the shadows here. And again, we'll just continue laying this color down. That is true, Jody. You know, sometimes I think glitter is your solution for everything. Okay, now with that done, I'm going to take the madder brown. I'm going to use kind of a medium pressure in at the shadows and then just a super, super light pressure everywhere else. Because again, I feel like this is one of those colors that can totally take over if you let it. Hi, Shonda. Oh. Well, hello. Did you feel left out? Oh, she's such a strange cat. She's sitting at the door, so she was let in, and then now she's just sitting there staring at the door. I've never heard of that, Andrew. It sounds really interesting though. I bet you could get some really neat effects with that. Oh, hi Roxy, thanks for joining. Yeah. What you doing? Really? Are you sure? What? Oh. Well, hello there. Oh, you're just gonna sit in my lap and do the happy dance, are ya? You're just cuddly today, huh? Why? Yeah, I wonder if it would be messy. It sounds like it could be. It sounds like it could be fun too, though. Okay, moment of truth. Let's grab a water brush. I'm gonna go for a bigger one. And let me just grab my wipe off paper here. Okay, so the trick to this is make sure that you have a damp brush, and then you want to work in the same direction that the hair is going. You don't want to muddle it around, so I'm pretty much going the exact same direction the hair is going, and I'm wiping my brush off because I don't want the dark color on my brush to take over the highlights of the hair. Now doing it this way, it might not activate all of the ink that we've laid down, but it does enough to get that kind of realistic hair-like effect. But if you wanted to go in and activate all of the ink, what you could do is you could wait for it to dry and then go in again and do the same thing. I think if you went over it like maybe 2-3 times, it would probably activate all of it, I would think. So for these hair strands, I'm just going to bring them down and kind of continuously go in with my ink. The nice thing is this might or may not show through the pencil when we do her skin, so it'll be kind of interesting to see. Ooh, what page are you working on, Candy? Doesn't it, Jody? I figured so. I thought blonde would be just a little bit too much, especially with the yellow fish sitting on her head. I wanted him to actually look like a solitary fish rather than look like he was like a hair accessory on her head or something. Although he still kind of is, he just doesn't blend in. Didn't want him to get lost. Oh yeah. Me too, Jody. Especially the cat one, the catfish and the little dragon ones. Oh my gosh, they are my favorite. So cute. actually really like the effect that this is making with her hair. It's not as deep of a rich brown as I wanted. We could always go back over it later, but the only trouble with doing darker browns is sometimes you kind of lose the hair effect if you do dark colors. Yeah, I wasn't too into them either. I did have a favorite Pokemon though, and my favorite Pokemon was Eevee. Because she kind of looks like, well, I guess it's actually a he, supposedly. But it kind of looks like a cat, and I always liked cats. So I had this little red toy Eevee thing, and I used to take that with me everywhere when I was little. Okay, so for the rest of her hair, we're going to do the same thing. What color? Because we started with the bark. So I think the first thing I'm going to do here is these little braided bits. I want to be relatively dark. So I'm going to go in and place some shadows in here, mostly just going along the lines that Camilla has drawn in. Just to kind of darken them up, create a little bit of a shadow behind her ear and along these lines. And then I also want the hair going into the braid. I assume it's a braid anyways. So I want that to be relatively dark. So I'm going to create a shadow there, and then I'm just going to start using a little bit of a flicking motion coming out of that shadow, being mindful of the little fish's fin here. So then I'm just going to keep going in. Sorry guys, Lila's making lots of noise playing on the floor. So I'm just going to go in with these flicking motions in the same direction that the hair is going. So right here it looks like it's kind of curved. Maybe let's create a little bit of a shadow from the hair coming in from behind the fish. Right, Jody? I'm so excited for so many of them. There's a Spider-Man movie coming out, and I think it plays here. What day? I think it's the 14th of December, so I think as part of Little Man's Christmas present, I think I'm going to take him to that. Okay, next moving on to the dark chocolate. So again, just going to pop these into the shadows a little bit as well and bring it out. I'm going to really darken up this strand here because I feel like this is more of like one section of hair and then this is another section. Maybe darken it up here as well. To give it a little bit of added interest is what I'm hoping. I'm not very good with this technique of doing hair. What are you doing, miss? You sure are making a lot of noise. Square Bob? Do you mean SpongeBob? I'm looking forward to all of them. I think the one I'm looking forward to most though is Lion King. I loved that movie as a kid. I remember me and my brother crawling around the living room on our hands and legs, jumping up on the couch and stuff, reenacting Lion King. It's always so much fun. I'm gonna create a little bit more of a shadow here as well. Maybe put just a few little little lines in this braid here, just kind of going the same way that the braids are going. I don't want to have those too dark, so I'm not going to add too much. Me too. I've been waiting for it to play so I can record it for Carbon. I think he'd absolutely love it. Okay, next going in with the oak. I'm just lightly going over everything we have so far. We don't really have to worry about putting this the same direction as the hair, just kind of scribble it in there. Oh, thanks, Jody. Although I disagree, I've seen some of the hair that you've done and it looks just fine, so I think you might be being a bit too hard on yourself there, girl. Oh, camera's gonna shake. Lilo jumped up on the shelf again. Yes, those were great cartoons. Okay, and then we're gonna go in with Madder Brown and just lightly, again, pop this in. Just want a little bit of redness to her hair. Oh, that's so sweet, Candy. You're so welcome, Jody. It is a little bit dark out today, guys. Is the lighting okay, or is it better to turn my light on? I'm not sure if that helps. Let me know. Thanks, Shonda. Oh, I just realized that I forgot to activate this little bit down here. Okay, was it better without the light on then? Okay, better with the light. All right. Good, good. Okay, so again, just gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna focus on the sections of hair. Just kind of do them in one at a time, and I'm going to work from the top down. That way I'm not running my hand through any of the wet ink, because this stuff will smear. Okay, bye Shonda. I hope you have a good day or evening wherever you are. Also, I was going to ask, those of you who have a lot of experience with cats, have you ever had any older cats lose their baby teeth late? I've been meaning to call the vet and ask her, because I might need to get stitched in for an appointment. He seems to be losing at least one of his teeth, maybe two, but he's like 1 year and 5 months old. I don't think he should be losing his teeth. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they usually lose their baby teeth anywhere from 4 months to 12 months. At least I'm hoping I'm wrong. Because other than that, he seems pretty healthy. Just going over a couple little bits that I missed. Okay, just one little bit of her hair. Yeah, I've had quite a few cats, but I've never really had any that I've actually noticed them losing teeth, so I'll have to ask. I actually think that my neighbor beside us is a vet, so maybe if I catch her outside, I can ask her. I usually try to avoid talking to people, but for my cats, I suppose I will. Okay, the hair coming in from behind. I'm assuming this is like a braid turning into a ponytail, which is actually a really interesting hairstyle. So I'm going to come in again with the bark first, and I'm just going to shade the hair coming out from behind here, as well as the hair going in behind here. And then we'll just kind of darken up the lines that Camilla already has drawn in here. So this is going to be quite shadowed here, closer to her ear. And we'll also just kind of create a few of our own lines in here, just following the way that the hair is going. The only thing with using my working phone to live stream is I'm using my recording phone as chat, and the clock on it is wrong. So it's telling me it's 3:15 right now. I have no idea what time it is. I just realized that. Let's see. Can I? Oh no, I can't see the time on that phone. Just 2 seconds, guys. So I'm gonna go check my clock. It's 11:45. It's an interesting time that my phone has. It says it's 3:16. I think I'm going to darken up this little bit here, just as if this piece of hair is coming in from behind that. And then maybe let's darken up that too. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but we'll just leave it as hair. Yes, you definitely should, Charlotte. I love using ink tints for hair. On this hair, you can't really tell the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard to kind of see the whole effect that the ink tints have because a lot of the hair is already drawn in. But when you use this technique on hair that doesn't have any strands drawn in, you can really see how well that it helps. Hi April, thank you. Welcome back, Nick and Tina. Okay, next coming in with our dark chocolate. I'm just going to bring this out a little bit from our shadows. Got the kitty out. Alright, go on. She hates when when my door is closed. She wants to be on both sides of it. And then we're just going to come in, just add a few more little strands of hair throughout. Going back in with the oak and just lightly coloring everything in. And then lastly with the madder brown, I'm going to put a little bit of this in over top of here just because I feel like this one little highlight here is just too yellow. It just stands out a little bit too much, doesn't really blend with the rest of her hair. It's probably from the base color that we laid down. So again, I'm just going over everything super lightly with the madder brown. I'm using a little bit of a firmer pressure in around the shadowed areas. But other than that, just super light, don't want it to overpower. Hi Nia, thanks for joining, sweetheart. Oh, I hope you feel well enough to color soon, Charlotte. But definitely take time to heal first, that's for sure. I get like that sometimes where I don't really want to color either. Again, activating the ink tints in the same direction as the hair, and I'm cleaning it off after every stroke that I make. Okay, there we go. Her hair is pretty much done except for this little strands here, but I'm hoping that we can go in and make them stand out a little bit later on. Hi, April. That is awesome. I love that. Okay. I think I want to finish with the ink tints first before we do her skin. Oh, we might not be able to. Well, yeah, we should be able to. Okay. Let me just put these aside here. And then we're going to tackle this here. Ooh, that sounds fun, Nia. I hope you enjoy your coloring day. So I want to grab some oranges and pinks. Let's see here. I'm going to grab mid vermilion. That's going to be our shadowed color of the orange, but I want them to be super bright, so we're not going to do too much shadowing. So we'll grab that for our orange, and then I'm also going to grab tangerine and sun yellow. And I'm hoping that the sun yellow will brighten up the tangerine. I was working with glitter yesterday and I've got glitter everywhere. It's getting on my book from something. Okay, so that's for our orange, and then for the pink, let's see here. I'm actually thinking, I'm going to switch that out. Instead of the mid vermilion, I'm going to grab the burnt orange. And I'm going to use that for shadows instead. And for the pink, let's see, we already have carmine pink in there, but let's grab that for the shadows. Or actually, no, let's go with crimson. So many pretty colors, it's hard to choose. I have a problem. Okay, so crimson for the shadows, and then let's grab cherry, I think. Cherry is a pretty color. And for the pinks, those are all I'm going to use. We'll come back in with our neon Prismacolors as we did with the fish for the highlights and stuff to make it really pop out. So just zoom in a little bit more here. We'll start with the orange. So I'm going to pick up the burnt orange and I'm just going to pop this in on the sides of this glove here. Just to kind of create that rounded look. I'm going to fade it in just a little bit. It's not going to go in very far. And then pop a little bit in here as well. Do the same thing. We'll have a little bit of a shadow on the ends, fading in. We'll do that both ways. There'll be a little bit of a shadow here as well. Not sure how well this is going to work, but I'm hoping it'll work well. I'm going to pop this in here because it's kind of covered by her hair. So I feel like that would be shadowed. Maybe coming in from this way, we'll shadow that. And then just coming out from here as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with the tangerine. I'm going to blend that into our darker areas. And then I'm going to fade it out when we get to the center. I'm still going to lightly cover it, but I'm just going to fade it out so it's super, super light. And then we'll activate it, let it dry, and then after that we'll go back in with the sun yellow for the highlights. Well, maybe we have a little bit more room to work on with this, so let's add a little bit of the tangerine in on each part where this comes up. And again, just kind of lightly cover everything. Okay, Charlotte, that's all right, hon. Thanks, Jody. Okay, coming in and activating this now, and I'm just going to start from the highlights and work my way towards the shadows. Making sure to clean my brush off in between. Okay, there's our orange pretty much done. Hi, Elizabeth. That's okay, sweetheart. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so for our pink, we're going to do crimson for the shadows. So I want to pop a good amount of this color in behind each of her fingers here. Give them a little bit of shadow, except for, oh no, that one will be shadowed too. Okay. So I'm going to create a dark shadow behind each finger and then just fade it out a little bit. And then I want to shadow in underneath her pinky finger here and underneath her hand where her chin is resting on it. Okay, and then I also want to shadow along this side here and underneath where her hand kind of, I don't know, it kind of bends here, I think. Let's put a little bit of a shadow in along the underside of this as well. and just up this finger as well, because I want this side of her hand to be kind of shadowed, because it would be away from the light facing her, because we decided on kind of a head-on light. Also shadow her fingers a little bit here, the tops of them, because they're kind of resting on her face, it looks like. So and then I'm going to go in with the cherry, and I'm just going to use this color really lightly, because this can be a really dark color if you let it. So I'm going to use this really lightly. I'm going to try to avoid the middle of her fingers if I can, and kind of save those for a highlighted area, which again will probably come in with the neon pink Prismacolor to kind of put in some highlight here. So just make sure we save some highlights. I want to leave this part here as a highlight, and then this part here as well. Okay, switching back to the crimson, I want to create a little bit of a shadow on this ribbon here, on either side of it, and same here. So have it a little bit darker coming out from behind her hair, and this little bit here will be completely shadowed. And then again, we'll bring the cherry out from that and then just very, very lightly fade it. We want to leave a little bit of a highlight, and then we'll go ahead and activate that. So again, always working from your highlights into your shadows. So what's everybody up to today? What are you working on, if you have anything on the go? I know some of you have like hundreds of works in progress. Okay, now we're just going to bring in our sun yellow just at the very middles of these orange bits here. I just want to give them a little bit of a really yellowed highlight. So you can see even before we activate it, that just kind of makes it pop out quite a bit more, and then it also kind of ties it in with our fish up top too. So we've got yellow towards the top of the page, and now we've just got the slightest accent of yellow down here as well. So that's another thing that's kind of hard to achieve, but is definitely worth it, and that is balance within your picture. I mean, sometimes you get a really nice effect if you've got different colors in different areas as well, but it just kind of depends on the look you're going for, I think. I haven't quite decided on these little bits here what I want to do with them yet. I think for the heart bit, I'm actually going to come in with the crimson. I'm going to fill this in pretty heavily, and then I'll activate it. And then I think I want her to have that greeny blue eye color that we're going to use for the background, but I think I want the fish to have like a lighter blue. So maybe let's make these little bits here that kind of remind me of pearls. Let's make them kind of a little bit of blue right now. I absolutely love that split screen feature, Robin. I was lurking watching Sammy's videos yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, Tuesday. And then working on that unicorn painting that I showed you guys at the beginning of the stream. Because like I said, it's not an original, so I was going based off of a previous picture. So I had half of my screen as Sammy streaming, and then the other half was the picture of that unicorn to kind of go off of. Super nice. I love being able to do that. Okay, what am I? Okay, iris blue. That's the color that I want. I'm not going to use very much of this, so I'm going to take the iris blue and I'm going to pop it towards the center, just the very middle of these pearls. And I'm going to slowly fade it out, but I'm not going to touch the ends. And then I'm going to be very, very careful while activating it. I want to keep the color in the middle, so that way it just makes them look more like pearls. And we'll also go over and kind of highlight them with yellow. Let's just put these colors aside now. We'll do her eyes, and then I think after that we can get to the skin. I'm not sure what time it is. It's been about 15 minutes, so I think right now it's about 12, so I think we've got one more hour. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, what was, oh yeah, eyes. So for her eyes, I definitely want some iron blue in there, or iron blue or deep indigo. Both would be really pretty. Let's go with the deep indigo. It's 2:03 p.m. For you or for me, Robin? Can't be 2 for me. So I want the deep indigo, and I definitely want the green aquamarine, or no, let's go dark aquamarine. Okay, if it's 2:04 for Nick and Tina, then it is 12:04 for me. So I'm 2 hours behind. Perfect, so we still have another hour. We actually might be able to get this done, depending on how long her skin takes. Dark aquamarine. And then I think I want a little bit of iris blue for this one as well. If I can find that again. Where did I, oh, no, where did I put that? I literally just had it. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's okay, Elizabeth. I really appreciate you stopping by. You have a great day, sweetheart. Hi, Natalie. That's okay. Lurk away, honey. A big hello to anybody else who's lurking. Thanks for being here. Okay, Nia, enjoy your dinner, sweetheart. Okay, so for this little fish, what I want to do, actually let's pull out one more color, and I want the deep blue. So I'm going to grab that deep blue and I'm going to focus it more at the top. I'm going to create a little bit of a shadow at the top of Skyee, and then I'm just going to lightly put it around the bottoms, and then I'm going to color the rest in with the iris blue. So there's his eyes pretty much done. We'll just go in the lighter area. Oh, too much water. And just kind of blend it into the darker areas. Constantly cleaning that brush off. They'll probably kind of bleed into each other anyways, but try and be as careful as we can. Oh, thanks, Jody. Yes, a thumbs up would definitely be helpful, guys, if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay, and then for Missy's eyes, I'm going to go in with the deep indigo at the very tops. So this is going to kind of be like the shadow from her eyelashes. So really firm at the top, fading it out, and then we're going to transition into the dark aquamarine. I'm going to color that in over top of the deep indigo to give it a little bit of a greenish tint. And then I'm just going to fade it down, and I was going to put some of the iris blue, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to really lightly go on the bottom with the dark aquamarine, just to kind of create a little bit of a lighter version of it. I don't want her eyes to be too vivid of a color, but I want the color to really show. Let's So starting from the bottom, just gonna go back and forth, working our way up. And that is it for the ink tints. So next we're going to pull out our Prismacolors. And the first ones that I want are in here. So I've got my, not green, I've got my yellow, orange, and pink neons. And focusing down here on her hands, I'm going to pop in a little bit of the pink. I'm not going to put this in at the highlights though, because this is kind of a darker color. So I'm going to focus this more where we had our shadows. It'll just give a little bit of a neon vibe to her glove. And just maybe lightly go over the highlights with it. Same thing here, a little bit darker in the shadows, and then lighten up the pressure as we get to the highlights. And then I think for our orange, let's see here, I'm just going to try a little bit of, yeah. I'm going to skip the neon orange here. I'm going to come in with the neon yellow, and I'm going to go over all of the orange bits here, and that's just going to make it really pop and bring it out quite a bit. I'm not sure where I want to end her head here because this is very, so I'll probably have it end here, I guess, because that's where it looks like her neck ends. Hi, Debs. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you, and thanks for being here. Lurk away, sweetheart. Got quite the collection of pencils going here that we've used. Hopefully I can remember where we've used them all. Now onto her face, and do I have these colors out already? No, I don't think I do. I still have a lot of colors out from our Christmas color along that I'm recording. So I'm going to use my usual skin tone colors, and that is Parma Violet, Nectar, Peach, Light Peach, and White, wherever that is. Okay, I do have white out. There we go. I'm doing pretty good today, Nick and Tina. Thanks for asking. A little bit of a pain day, but pushing through it. So far I haven't taken anything for it, so doing good. I hope you guys are doing good as well. So just going to sharpen up a couple of these pencils here. I'm going to have to order some of these soon. They're getting small. They're actually not that small, but still. I like having backups. I'm one of those people that need like backups for my backups. Is anybody else like that? Okay, as always, gonna start in with our shadows. Actually, first I'm going to grab some blush colors too. So I wanted to have some really light blush here. So I'm gonna grab hot pink, and let's go with pink rose maybe. I don't know, let me scratch this on a piece of paper. Yeah, pink rose would be good, I think. You're so welcome, Debs. So going in with our Parma Violet first, I'm going to come in and start adding some shadows, and for the most part, as always, I'm just going to run this all around her face, which kind of creates a little bit of that roundness. We've also got this kind of eyes where they don't really have any closing here, so we're gonna have to kind of guesstimate where her eyes stop. Just gonna kind of create a little bit of a shape for them, I think. Maybe. Might look silly, but we'll see. I don't know. Because I do want to leave whites for her eyes, otherwise she's gonna look very strange. So here's a Christmas question for you guys. Oh, hold on, let me see. My mom is such a smartass. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I have to use my normal phone, like my everyday phone, to stream right now because I thought I had plugged my recording phone into the charger, and I did, but the charger itself was not plugged into the wall, so it didn't charge, and it doesn't hold much of a charge either when it's streaming unless it's at 100%. Usually after 2 hours it's almost dead, so yeah, using my working phone. So I texted my mom because she's supposed to be coming into town today, and she's gonna give me a ride to the post office. As you guys know, I don't drive. I'm terrified of driving, so I sent her a message and it says, "Hi mommy, I'm streaming, so my phone is on airplane mode." And then I meant, "Can you send me a message?" But I just put the letter U and my phone auto-corrected it to I. So it says, "Can I send me a message on here when you're on your way into town, please? Thanks, love you." So she comes back with, "That might be difficult for you, but sure, go ahead." My goodness, I love her, but she drives me crazy sometimes. She was like one of those people, like if she was driving and we'd call her to find out where she was, he'd like say, "Hey mom, where are you?" She'd be like, "In the truck." It's like, okay, but where? In the truck, on the road. Where on the road? In Alberta. Hi Star Child, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, Jody. You just need a little bit of practice, that's all. It is a little bit scary adding colors like this, but I've gotten to the point where I really love it. Adding purples and blues to skin tones, especially for mermaids and stuff. It's just super pretty. Yeah, they're funny. I definitely get my sarcasm and my smart assiness from my mom. Actually, Carbon today, he was, like I said, it took me a little bit to get up this morning. I was in a lot of pain. So Carbon came in and asked when I was going to get up. It's like, "When I'm up, I'll be up." And he looks at me, he's like, "You sound like Farm Nana." I just started laughing. I'm like, I wonder why. I'm actually kind of wondering if she's got like a shirt or if this is lace just going over her neck, because this line just kind of seems a little bit out of place to me now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to run the Parma Violet in underneath her chin here, a little bit darker than usual just because we want it to be shadowed. And I'm just going to treat this as skin. I'm not really sure, so I'm going to bring this down. And we're going to make this look like skin as well. We're just going to fade out her skin here, I think. Yep, I've added blue to my skin tones before. It kind of gives you that like underwatery or like really pale kind of vibe. Oh, if I want this to look realistic, I'm just going to create a little bit of a line here to separate this. We're going to go back in and we're going to turn this into hair behind the lace. So I'm just going to come in, create some shadows in underneath this ribbon, underneath the hair, just pretty much wherever we can to add some interest to her skin. A little bit of a shadow underneath here. underneath these little pearls here. And I think I want her to have some really pretty pale skin, so I'm not going to go too crazy with my shadows. So I'm actually going to leave it there. Usually I'll go around and add a little bit more purple. I might add a little bit more underneath here. I'm not pushing hard or anything, just using the same pressure, but just kind of going over it a little bit more to get that color in there. And I'm going to stop there, and then we'll start going in with our nectar. I'm going to put this down over top of pretty much everywhere that we put the purple. Of course, I'm going to use a little bit of a firmer pressure underneath here because this is going to be our darkest shadow. But everywhere else, I'm going to go fairly lightly. Still not burnishing the page yet. I always try to tell my mom, she'll say the same thing. She goes, "Oh, you're a smart ass." It's like, well, I got it from you. And then, of course, she goes, "Nope, I still have mine." It's my goodness, Mom. So just going in everywhere that we've put the purple, and just going to kind of fade it out a little bit as well with the nectar. Just kind of bring it out. Thankfully, I find in this book that you can put layer after layer after layer, which is super helpful. But I'm also not a huge fan of the paper in this book because it seems like it needs layer after layer to complete it. And as you guys know, I am a lazy colorist. I try to layer as little as possible, like the minimal. But this book forces me to layer quite a bit, and I forgot to shadow her nose and what is not there of her lips. So we've got one of those lip issues again, same as last time. Nick and Tina, or Robin, if you guys are still here, what time is it? You put it in your time or my time. It's 2 hours behind you guys. Okay, thank you. So for me, it's about 12:20. Okay, so we've got a little bit over half an hour. Might not get everything done that I wanted to. We'll see. Kind of step up the pace here a little bit. Just going to pretty much color all of this in just lightly with the nectar, because most of this is going to be in shadow. This lace is going to be over top. We'll go over with a white pen to kind of make it look more lacy, but I'm going to switch back to my Parma Violet, and I'm going to come in and just create a little bit of a shadow underneath her nose. Maybe give her kind of like a little bit of a button nose here, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. Winging it till I win it, as Jody would say. And let's see if we can figure these fish lips out here. I'm going to assume that they're kind of like that. I don't know if you guys can see that on screen, but So I'm going to shade in underneath them, especially on this side here. They're going to be quite a bit in shadow, just because of the way that her face is turned. Yeah, I finally got that saying down. Took me a couple tries. Just kind of adding a little bit to some of these shadows as well here. I want to make the purple in her hair a little bit more noticeable, so I'm just kind of scribbling that in there. Not really being neat with it at all. I'm not too worried. Maybe let's add a little bit underneath her eyebrows here too. They are a little bit better. The shading is kind of there, and I'm more familiar with like the angle that these lips are, so it's a little bit easy to kind of add them in. So next I'm going to come in and add some blush. So I'm going to start with the hot pink, and she kind of has a little bit of shadow put in where the blush sits, so that makes it a lot easier. I'm going to bring the hot pink about 3/4 of the way through that blush, and then I'm going to fade it out. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It's not going to be quite so much on this side though, because of the way that her face is turned. While we've got these colors, I'm going to come in around her lip here on the bottom, pretty firmly, and then I'm going to fade it upwards. I'm going to do the same thing for this lip. Just kind of bring it up with the hot pink. From there, we're going to grab Pink Rose, and I'm going to start in at the blushed areas. I'm just going to fade this out from the hot pink a little bit. And that will hopefully soften up that blushed look, because I want her to have just kind of some really soft looking blush here. And then for her lips, I'm going to use this, I'm going to completely burnish over top of the hot pink and just color in the rest of her lips with this color. One thing I am going to do though, I'm going to grab the mulberry and I'm going to create a little bit of a darker shadow right here where her lips kind of come together on both sides. She does, she's kind of got those fish lips going on. I actually really like it. Okay, and then for our skin, we're going to start coming in with the nectar, or no, sorry, the peach. And I'm going to use this to start burnishing all of our shadows. So we're burnishing our shadows with this color, fading it out. I don't want, this is still a dark color, so I don't want too much of this in here. She's going to be a light peach kind of gal, so burnishing those shadows and then using really small circles just to kind of blend outwards with this color a little bit. And when I say burnishing, I am burnishing. I am pushing pretty hard here because, like I said, this paper wants layers and I don't want layers. Well, I do. I just don't want 2 layer though. The shadows up top underneath her bangs here are going to be rough, so I'm just really throwing that on there. I'm not being neat at all. Before I carry on here, I'm going to switch back to the nectar because I forgot to neutralize the purple up here. Just going to lightly go in over top of all the purple that I put. I did put in a little bit of a cupid's bow for her here, Hopefully it doesn't make her look too silly. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, but I think I messed up her nose. It's a little bit, I don't know. I like it and I don't at the same time. I think the shape of it was just a little bit off because of, I don't do noses at this angle usually, so I'm not really sure. Especially that style of nose. Just add in a little bit more shading in there and hope for the best, I suppose. And then same thing, I'm going to go in with the peach. I'm not going to burnish these shadows yet because, to be honest, I'm very unsure about them. So let's just pop some of that peach color in there lightly and fade it out. And we'll just kind of keep adding to those shadows and hope for the best. Maybe pop some of this color in around her lips and the other side of her nose as well here. And then we'll carry on. Back to that firm pressure, burnishing those shadows. And I think everything below her neck, or below her chin here, I'm going to completely color this in with the peach. Oop, nope, not that spot. That is going to be hair. Okay, and I'm just going to bring the peach down here and then just fade it out as we get to there. I'm just going to leave it just like that. And next we're going to move on to the light peach. Going to pop that in over top of our shadows and start bringing this out as well. Small little circles. This in underneath her eyes, and then I'm going to start kind of fading it out in around here because she's going to have a really light spot here. So I'm fading out my pressure, but I'm still going to go over everything because I don't want it to be just a super white spot. It's just going to be lighter than the rest of her face. Just going to completely color in her ear here. This side, again, I want a little bit of a lighter spot here. It's not going to be as big as the spot on this side, of course, because not as much of her cheek is showing, and she's kind of got some of it pushed up here. Hi, Sheleen, sweetheart. Thanks for joining. I hope you're doing well today. So same thing, I'm just going to fade that out. The spot on her cheek here is just really small. I'm just going to lightly color in over top of it. And again, just continue burnishing everything. Start popping some of this color in on her nose. I'm going to leave just a little bit of a highlight on this side of her nose, just kind of lightly go over it with the light peach, again to kind of get that same effect here. I'm doing pretty good, Sheleen. I can't complain too much. Thanks, sweetheart. And just for good measure, I'm just going to go over this stuff again down here. Like I said, this paper will take layers and layers and layers of color. Even though I pushed almost as hard as I can, this is still not burnished, believe it or not. But peach is really, really good for burnishing, so that definitely helped. Thanks, Jody. What's up, little man?
Why do we have to chop her?
I haven't decided what we're having for lunch yet. I'm gonna make it soon here, though. I'm almost done.
Alright, hi, guys.
Okay, and then with that being done, I'm going to make sure that my white is clean, and I'm going to come in and go over those lighter bits with that. Just a little smudge of something on her nose there. I'm not sure where that came from, but oh well. Maybe let's go over her lips a little bit more to soften up the pink there. Thank you. Okay, so that is it for her skin. I do want to darken up her eyes a little bit here, so I'm going to grab my Indian Throne Blue, and I'm just going to pop that in at the very top. And just fade it down ever so slightly. We'll leave it like that. Then I want to take my black, if I can find it. I probably have that one out. Is that it? Nope. There we go. Okay. Actually, do we want to? I'm going to use a fine liner instead. I'm not going to use my black. Okay. So I'm just going to take a black fine liner. This is just the Studio brand. It's super cheap. And I'm going to come in, sorry for the odd angle, I'm going to come in and just flick in some eyelashes here, mostly mimicking the eyelashes that Camilla already has drawn in, and then kind of creating my own as well, even though it's scary, but it's got to be done. And I'm also going to come in and just go over some of these lines, bring her pupil back out. I'm going to basically just go over the lines that Camilla already has in her eye. She's kind of got that sketchy kind of feel, and I don't want to stray too far from that. Sorry about the shadow my hand's making. Nick and Tina, if you're still here, or Robin, can I have the time again, please? Sorry to keep bothering you. I need to fix the time on this phone, but I don't know how. I did once before and it just changed back. Okay, and then I'm also going to take my Uniball Signo pen. And we're going to put some highlights in, starting with the fish's eyes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of an arc here, maybe a dot down here for his eyes. Nothing too crazy. Okay, perfect. So we will have enough time to do the background and stuff. That's awesome. I'm also going to grab my hair colors here. So oak, bark, dark chocolate, and madder brown. And I'm just going to continue the hair in here, so I'm going to keep it the same direction that it was coming in there. I'm going to start with the bark, just put a few little strokes in there. Same with the dark chocolate. We don't need too much because this is such a small area. And then we'll just kind of color it in with the oak lightly, and then go in over top with the madder brown lightly. Again, we'll activate that, going the same direction as the hair. Back in with our white. I'm going to put a little bit of a highlight in her eyes. I'm mostly going to keep it down towards the bottom, so let's do just a little bit of a dot on either side. And then just a little bit of a broken line. kind of in the middle, just like that. And then we'll also add a little bit of a glossy lip look to her lips there. And then where we can here, I'm going to come in and follow these lines if my pen wants to work. There we go. So I'm just going to follow these lacy lines. I'm going to try and keep them thin. I don't want them super opaque. I want them to look really delicate. Just outline these pearls too. Maybe give them just a little slight shine. I'm sorry, you might not be trying to troll, but no thank you. Oh my goodness, this pen does not want to work. I'm not sure if it's dying or if it's just the wax on the pencil. Dudes, I'm from Canada. Really don't care about Donald Trump. Sorry, not sorry. Should be dry enough. We can come in and put our lace kind of over top of those bits as well. Thanks, Kenny. Natalie. Oh, they could have been. I don't know. They just kind of look like pearls to me, so that's what I did them as. Eh. Oh my goodness. What is with these Trump people? Honestly, I don't even know what liberal means. That's just a word to me. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. I don't really follow politics. I probably should because it affects me, but I don't. Okay, one other thing I'm going to do quick here. I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take another Studio Fine Liner in brown. I'm just going to kind of draw in these little hair wisps, maybe bring some in from the top here. Yeah, and I know they like taught us what liberal and I can't even remember any of the other ones, conservative maybe. I remember learning about them from school, don't remember what any of them means. Honestly, couldn't tell you what I am or what I lean towards. I guess just freedom, that's all I care about. To be honest though, from what I've heard about Trump, as much as everybody says he's a shitty leader, we could definitely use him here. Our prime minister is an idiot. So just going through and just making some extra hairlines here, just to kind of bring in this color, which is nice because it's actually kind of a reddish toned brown. So it's really bringing out the reds in her hair. Maybe color in her eyebrows with that as well. Okay, do we need any other highlights in here before we do the background? Maybe some on the fish actually. So we're just going to go in, I'm going to put some white highlights just on some of these little sea bits of the fish here. Not on all of them, but just enough to kind of make them stand out a little bit. I wonder if they'll be back in 5 minutes after their time's out. They do seem pretty persistent, don't they? Okay. So I'm not sure what time it is. Let's zoom out here and let's do our background. So just give me a minute to get everything together. I definitely want to use stencils. It's something I haven't tried yet. It could look awesome. Don't mind the noises. Gotta go through some boxes here. If I was smart, I should have had this all out before, but I was running a little late. So I do have a few different stencils, kind of some brickwork, some woodwork, trees. I'm leaning towards this one. I've got some diamonds, and then just like some stars, zebra stripes. I think we're going to go with the mermaid pattern one because of course that's the one that makes the most sense. And these are just cheap little stencils that I got at my dollar store. Definitely going to go with that one, I think. I don't know the time difference because I don't know what time it is for me. But thank you, Jody. They are awesome, aren't they, Kenny? I use them a lot. Okay, now I just need to pick out some colors, and I'm going to use paint, I think. So let me just pull my paint out here. I'm definitely going to grab this one. This is Americana Peacock Teal. So that's going to kind of complement the greeny blue in her eyes, which actually turned out to be more blue than green, but that's okay. So I definitely want that one. And then I'm thinking I want, let's go with this one. This is, actually that might not be very, actually, no, let's use it. Or should we use, yeah, let's use this one instead. So this is Key West by Apple Barrel. I think, let's add one more, a darker blue. So let's go with, let's add some navy blue by Folk Art. then I'm also just going to use an old sponge. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Hey, Nick and Tina, hey, can you... Sorry. I don't mean to be so dependent on you, but can you put the time in? Your guys' time again for me, please? It's a little bit of an annoyance not knowing what time it is, and I don't want to run out of the room every couple minutes to check the time. 12:46. Okay, I might go a little bit over. I believe Kate's streaming today. I haven't heard anything. Don't feel like you have to stay here to watch. You can always watch the final touches of this after. We only have the background. We might even be done in time, but if you guys want to go watch Kate, if I do go over, then feel free. Thank you so much, Nick and Tina. Okay, so I just use ice cream pale lids as my paint palettes, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of each color on this palette. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Might need more, might need less, but we'll start with that for now. And then another thing that I'm gonna do quickly here. I want to cover up as much of her and the fish as I can. So I just want a piece of paper. I'd actually just use these ones, and then, don't mind the sound. Tuck that in behind. So we'll start at the top here. Place our stencil. 2:46. Okay. Yeah, I think we might be able to get this done. No, that's what you said. Oh no. You said 12:46. That'd be in my time. Oh, never mind. I'm reading Kenny's. I got you and Nick and Tina mixed up. Don't mind me, too much coffee. My goodness. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch in little different parts of the paint, and then just kind of smush them together on my palette here so you can kind of see the color that that's turning into. I'm going to zoom in now so hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. It's a bit tedious, messy work here. I think I zoomed in too much. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Zooming's hard on this one. We're gonna leave it there. Okay. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to start putting that paint in there. Oh, no. There we go. Just kind of like that, and I'm just going to put it in randomly. I don't want it to go everywhere. But just kind of enough. See, that line there is really going to bother me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up again. I don't want that line to show up there, so without putting any extra paint here on my sponge, I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to come in a little bit with the paint some more and kind of make it look like it's fading out if I can. Did that work? Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, let's also just want to put a little bit more color in here if I can. So just being super careful to avoid our fish. I'm gonna do the same thing down here. Maybe have them like off center a little bit. So same thing, I'm going to dip into my paints. I'm going to dab it off on my ice cream pail lid, and then I'm just going to go in with the color. Thanks, Sheleen. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing, just a little bit on the bottom here. Just really splotchy-like here because there's not really much room to fade out from. So just kind of like, oh my goodness, and I stuck the paper to it without thinking. Ah, there we go. Actually, I kind of like that. Okay, so we'll just keep going with that because I actually really like it. Now that I got paint on that paper, I don't really want to put it back on there though, so let's grab another one. Go at the top here. I have to slide you guys down. I'm gonna actually water down this dark blue paint just a little bit with a spray of water because it's a really thick paint, so it's just not picking up as well as I want it to. So I want some areas to be more opaque than others. And this might be a bit tricky in here, but let's see if we can put some in around these hearts. So just using the very tip of my sponge to kind of get some color in there without going over the hearts. Thanks everybody. I was a little bit nervous about doing this, but it's actually turning out pretty good. It's going to be a little bit hard here, but thankfully I can stick my stencil right in underneath there. And if I get anything on this page, I'm not going to worry too much. Maybe let's get a little bit more of that lighter color in there. Last little bit here. Just gonna add a little bit more paint to my palette. So I'm going to try and go pretty opaque at the edges, and then I'm going to start trying to kind of fade it out as we get closer to her. If you do try this and you don't want paint on the other page, you could take some painter's tape and just kind of tape it off. But I'll probably end up using paint on this page too, so I'm not too worried about it. And there we go, she is done. Pretty sure, unless we wanted to put maybe some glitter in on the hearts or something maybe. Cue Jody. Thanks everybody. I'm glad it turned out really good. Oh, hey, there's my guru. Hi, Sabrina. Oh, we were going to do one thing though. I'm going to grab out my yellow neon marker again. It's kind of highlighter. And I'm just going to be mindful of the paint. And I'm going to color in over top of these hearts. I'm still going to try and avoid the black outline if I can. Because it is a water-based fine liner that I use, so I don't want to bring that black color in. Kenny, if that was meant towards me, thank you. Although there are a few things that I don't like that I've done, so it has happened. But it's especially scary when you're trying something new, that's for sure. If I had a heart stencil, I probably would have gone in with these colors and done that color as the background, but I think this actually looks really, really good. Thank you, Sabrina. Oh, I just noticed one more area that I want to put some white on. And that's just this little button right here with the heart. I'm just going to create kind of like a little circle on that to make it look rounded. We might as well outline it as well. Why not? Oh my goodness, Sheleen, you didn't have to do that, sweetheart. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Kenny. I think we're all a little bit too critical of our work sometimes, that's for sure. Nick and Tina, if you're still here, could I get the time again, please? Or Robin? Your time works too. Seriously, Sheleen, thank you so, so much. Okay, 3 o'clock, so 1 for me. I do believe, Robin, do you know if Kate's streaming today? I missed the end of last stream, so I wasn't sure if she said whether she was or not. Either way, I'm going to hop off, so it actually works out perfectly because my mom is on her way, so works awesome. I might see you over at Kate's for a little bit if she does stream today. Can't say for sure or not whether she is, but if she is, I'll see you over there hopefully. And thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me and completing this page with me. You guys definitely help, especially the decision-making process. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I've given you guys the kind of nerve to try something like this with your backgrounds. It's super easy but super effective. Great way to get rid of all that white paper that a lot of us feel like we need to color. Okay, thanks again everyone. I hope you have a great day or night, and I will see you at Kate's and hopefully next stream. Thanks everybody. Bye.